Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
You are knowing what you are wanting? That's a good thing. Do you believe that you are keeping up with your own desire? Does your desire feel good to you? Well, that's the answer then, isn't it? Because if an idea of something that you want feels like a good idea to you, then that means that you are in the vibrational vicinity of it. It means you're not contradicting your desire with a belief. If you have a desire that you doubt, then it doesn't feel so good, does it? And really, that's pretty much all we ever talk about. You want your money back, don't you? Because the balance of your vibration is what equals your point of attraction. And your point of attraction is what equals your life experience. So you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. It really is that simple. So it's a good idea. Many of you have been listening to us for a while. And some of you are getting really good at deliberate creation. And by deliberate creation, what we really mean is deliberately managing your mix of vibration, deliberately managing your thoughts that are desire thoughts and that are belief thoughts, by focusing more upon the desire thoughts and only upon the belief thoughts that match your desires. Because if you practice the belief thoughts that contradict your desires, then you add resistance to the mix. You don't feel so good, and you slow your desire down. So we want you to achieve or accomplish or live or get or experience every desire that life helps you determine that you want. We really do. We like it when what you have identified as something that you want matures and evolves and expands, and that you do right along with it. We like it when something that you desire turns from a thought to a thing, or from a thought to an experience, or to a pile of money, or from a thought to a relationship. That's what you as a creator is about. You are creating your own experience, and your thoughts are turning to things, and that's wonderful. But if you are impatient because the thought hasn't yet turned to a thing, your very impatience is the indicator of the resistance that you're putting in the mix that is slowing its turning to a thing down. And more important, really, you don't see it this way, but we want to convince you, more important than you slowing down the process of your desires becoming things that you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch, more important than the actual manifestation being on hold for a while, is that you're not living happily ever after in the meantime. There's always going to be something that you desire that has not yet come to full fruition. And if it needs to come to full fruition before you feel good, then you're not ever going to feel good, because there's always going to be something else that hasn't come to full fruition. And if your happiness is dependent upon it being already manifested, then you're in deep doo-doo, because there will always be something more. But when you show yourself how you can find satisfaction in the evolution, if you can show yourself how you can find satisfaction in your allowing it to become, if you can enjoy witnessing the expansion and evolution of it, if you can be in the receptive mode and you can feel the enthusiastic emotion that you feel when you're lined up with it and no longer hearing it, and then you get to receive a thought and then another and then an impulse and then another, so that you get to be a conscious, aware witness of the creation of your own desire. Oh, that's what happiness truly is. In fact, that's what living happily ever after is. It's focusing in a way that leaves your valve wide open, that valve to source energy, allows the energy stream to flow purely and clearly through you, that allows you to Remain in the receptive mode so that your impulses are right on time, so that your timing is such, so that your energy is such, so that your balance is such, and most of all, so that your happiness is constant. So often you want something that you don't have, and you sort of feel like when you get it, then you'll be happy. But you can't get there from there. You can't get to a happy ending from an unhappy journey. And many of you say, well, then give it to me now, and then I will feel better. And we say, it's not a matter of it not being given to you. It is being given to you. It's a matter of you being in the receptive mode so that you receive it, so that you perceive it, so that you notice it, so that you get to sniff it out and track it down and watch it expand and evolve in your experience, so that you get the exhilarating feeling of having your hands in the clay watching it unfold. So there you have it. That's everything that you ever need to know. We've enjoyed this interaction immensely. Practice every day about feeling good, and you will live happily ever after. Many of you are. So what do you want to talk about? We're eager to talk with you about anything that matters to you. We'll work the kinks out of it. We'll help you to feel what your mix of vibrations is about anything that matters to you. And once you figure out what your mix is and you're able to soften any resistance in the mix, then you're off and running. So let's see about you. There's a lot going on here. A lot of trouble in this room. It's all good.
Good morning.
It is.
It is. How are you?
Extremely well.
Very good. Me too. A number of years ago, I came to my first seminar about 6 years ago. And about that time, I was diagnosed with PTSD. Since then, I've been following all of your work. And I've also been in AA for many years, and I practice that program as well. But recently, in the last 3 months, I'm not quite sure what's happening, but I just started feeling like I don't need these meds anymore. I've been on this medication for like 6 years, and I said, I don't really need this anymore. So I went to the psychiatrist. I said, what do you think? I said, I don't want to take these meds anymore. I feel like they're dulling my brain. And he said, I agree. He says, we're going to get you off them. In the last few months, I've gone from 3 I've gone from 3 down to 1 medication, and that's been cut in half. But it's amazing what's starting to happen in my life. It's like I've come alive again. There's so much I want to do now that I haven't been thinking about before. I'm in a situation where a lot of things are changing in my life. And I really want to start to enjoy my life and have fun. More than anything else, I really want to start to have fun. And that's what I'm focusing on. But it's really a combination of all the work that I've done with you and the things I've learned in the 12-step program. I'm a little confused at times, and I'm a little off the wall. I don't know if it's withdrawal or anything else, but I'm feeling wonderful, and it's really because of all the work that we've done here.
The most important thing to realize is that there's always a mix of vibration going on within you. And so as you're finding more moments where you're feeling more satisfied, that momentum will continue to increase. Here's the most important thing about coming into alignment with who you are consciously, because the experience of life works even when you are not consciously aware of the inner workings of the laws of the universe. You're born into this body where you can't help but explore and observe. So you can't help but create an improved life experience just by your exposure to life. And your inner being, from whom you are an extension, in other words, you are an extension of this inner being, is continually noticing the details of what you are living and asking for, and becoming a vibrational equivalent of each moment of expansion that you carve out of life. So your inner being keeps becoming as a result of you. But when for whatever reason you hold yourself back with thoughts that just don't match those of your inner being, thoughts of unworthiness rather than worthiness, thoughts of incapability rather than capability, or thoughts of confusion rather than clarity, or hate rather than love. In other words, any thought that causes an emotion that feels bad is a thought that is contrary to what the larger part of you has become as a result of you. And so there is a splitting apart of you if you keep holding to the life experience that caused you to expand rather than moving in the direction of your expansion. So what happens with medications that are sometimes very successful and often what you might call necessary? We never want to imply that we are out of agreement with those things. But what happens if you're in a step one life experience where there's so much that you know that you don't want and you're launching all of these rockets of desire, what happens is, especially for someone like you, where you know what you don't want and you know what you want and you know what you don't want and you know what you want and you know what you don't want and you know what you want, so you've created an especially robust vortex that is really calling you in a strong way. If you don't go, you never feel that satisfaction. So what happens with some is that they know what they don't want so clearly and they talk about it so much with so many that the momentum of what isn't wanted becomes really strong. And it doesn't stop the launching of desires of what they do want, but it's like putting a train on a track with an engine going that way, which is your desire, and then putting a train on the track with an engine that's that way, that's your belief, and they're going in opposition to each other. So when you want but don't allow, it just causes you to want more, but you don't allow out of habit, which just causes you to want more until eventually you can have such a strong tug of war going on within you because of the nature of your desires, not because of the nature of your disbeliefs, but because of the nature of your desires, that the stress is so great that medication seems like the only answer. So here's what the medication does. It doesn't change your vibration. It just soothes your awareness of your vibrational discord mix. It's like putting a happy face sticker over the empty gauge in your car. I don't want to know about that. Well, it's not going to get better. It's better to notice where your gauge is and keep it on the full side. But simultaneously to that, you're still improving your vibration. You're still thinking more about what you want. In other words, you sort of were doing it the hard way because you were dulling through the drugs, dulling your sensitivity to not only the emotion that didn't feel good, but also to the emotion that did feel good. You sort of had a muffler on all of your emotions. And if your emotions are predominantly bad feeling, then that's a good idea. But once your emotions start feeling predominantly good, then you sort of want to take the muffler off. And you want to feel the robustness of your engine full throttle. And that's what's going on with you.
That's exactly right.